Good Thursday morning to you. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martich. This is your outlook for December 4th, 2014, and a little bit different of a perspective on the video today. We had it looked like there was some definitive changes ahead with some warmth in the long range here, but something's going to throw a monkey wrench in our forecast here. It looks like in the Monday time frame. We're going to have to get into that in a second. First of all, we'll look at today. We have high pressure sitting over southeastern Canada here. This is going to be a pretty strong high pressure that's going to allow for a believe it or not, sunshine in our area here, which we haven't seen in quite some time. So if you do see that bright orange ball in the sky, it is not a UFO. It is the sun. So don't be alarmed. Okay, so we go a little bit further here. We're going to go into Friday here. I think Friday's going to be one of those days where it starts off partly cloudy in the morning, then we have increasing clouds, becomes mostly cloudy. I do think the rain is going to hold off until we get into late evening, though. We're going to have some rain move in here, probably late evening, and it's going to be from west to east as this moves in here. This is in association with this low pressure here moving from the southwest toward our area. This is going to make for a rainy day on Friday night, or actually overnight Friday night, and all day Saturday. Saturday does look like a rain out at this point. It does not look good at all. If you have anything scheduled outdoors here, pretty solid agreement that Saturday will be a rain out. So temperatures will increase slightly on Saturday with this rain, so we're not expecting any frozen precipitation with this. This is going to be an all-rain event. I would not be surprised if the very far northern areas of northeastern PA do start off as a little bit of a mix, but it should be brief and go over to rain. Of course, if that happens, that would be Friday night or Friday evening as this stuff moves in here, because it's not really going to be that warm on Friday. So we get into later in the day on Saturday here and Saturday night. This system is going to move offshore, and it's going to stall. Now, there's a couple different solutions here with this, the evolution of this system here. The European model and both the European and Canadian models have been hinting at something a little bit different than GFS's. GFS has been a little bit more progressive. Not a surprise. The GFS is a progressive model. That is a model bias. But what is happening here is this low basically gets cut off from the flow, and I'll show you what that means in a second. This is now looking at Sunday night. And then there's another system here moving into the Great Lakes here, and at the same time, even though look like they're pretty far apart here, one is going to interact with the other and basically take this system here that's stalled and kind of lasso it and bring it back toward the coastline and allow before it heads up here like this. So that's creating a little bit of a problem with our forecast here on Monday. There's a lot of uncertainty with this, how this evolves. European model and Canadian model have been insistent that this happens, especially on the ensembles for the European model. Wasn't given a lot of credit before because there wasn't a lot of ensemble support. Now the ensembles are starting to come around a little bit to this idea, so we have to start paying attention to it, and we alluded to that in our long-range outlook last night. But this system here actually retrogrades, which means it gets pulled back west a little bit here, and how far west it comes back here is still in question as to what's going on. And at the same time, up to our north, you have a very strong high pressure here. If it's in the right spot, will be funneling cold air into this system here. So even though there's not impressive cold around, this high pressure can allow for a cold air damming situation. And if this system comes further west enough, you could have some dynamic. It would be more of a dynamic system that would draw in its own cold air in itself. And we'd have a system kind of repeat of last Wednesday. Now, you're not talking about amounts yet here. We're not even throwing it out there, what amounts could be or precipitation type or anything. We're just saying that we're just concentrating on storm versus no storm right now. And we'll show you why this is possible. Right now, basically, this is what's known as a cutoff low. You have your flow up here to the north is going to run way out ahead of this system. So instead of having a west to east flow, you're basically going to have a system that's going to kind of cut itself off like this. This is cut off from the flow. The flow is very fast up here, west to east. So you got a system that gets cut off from the flow, and because it gets cut off, it allows it to close off right over the Delmarva. Okay, so we go a little bit further east here. This is our system on Saturday. As you get into Sunday, and the system gets offshore here, you see some things going on here. You got this system right here interacting with this system right here. Now this is already closed off and sitting off the Delmarva. when these two interact like this is actually going to what pulls it back toward the coastline and retrogrades it a little bit. Again, this is a cutoff low. These cutoff lows are very tough to forecast, and they are very pesky. They can do their own thing and they cause a lot of headaches, a lot of surprises, and we might be in for something like that on Monday. Not a definite yet. We're not going there. We're just giving you a possibility. And if that does happen, we could have some areas that will be dealing with some snow. And then this other piece of energy is going to dive in behind it. Pretty impressive here on the vorticity here. Another trailing low will come in behind it, and then we'll have to watch that as well. Whether this becomes one consolidated system or stays two separate remains to be seen. The gap has been closing between the two. So there's a lot of timing issues here, a lot of players that have to come together just at the right time for this to work. But if it does, you could have some snowfall over our area, or if the idea of the GFS is of a more progressive system that's going to head out like this, that does not get captured, does not get closed off, if that's correct, obviously everybody is high and dry on Monday. So a lot of uncertainty. Given the ensemble support right now for the European model, we're going to stick with the idea that this is a plausible idea until proven otherwise. And then here's that other piece of energy right here that's going to dive in behind this main system and is going to form another one. Right on its heels, but we'll get into that as we get a little bit closer. We're going to deal with system number 1 first, and then see how these two interact and what happens with the evolution of the system over the next couple of days. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is your outlook for December 4th, 2014. Have a great Thursday.